might say, but didn't we read in Ephesians 2, verses 8 and 9, that faith is a gift of God, not something that we can produce? Look at Ephesians chapter 2, 8 and 9 again. Paul says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not because of works, lest any man should boast." Doesn't this show that faith is simply God's gift to you and not something that you do on your own? I think that's incorrect, and I think demonstrably so. Let me ask those of you who are our vigilant Logos software users to tell us what is the gender of the word for faith that is used in verse 8. And I should mention here that in Greek, as in modern-day German, every noun has a gender, and there are three genders: masculine, feminine, and neuter. It's the same in Greek. Now, what is the gender of the word pistis, or faith? Feminine. So, it is feminine gender for pistis, or faith. What is the gender of the pronoun in verse 8, this? Neuter. Tuto is the word. It's neuter. So the antecedent of this is not the word faith. You would have to have a feminine pronoun in order to refer to faith. Rather, what the word this refers to is the whole preceding clause, namely, salvation by grace through faith. That is not your own doing. This is the gift of God. This is the way God has elected to set it up, that he's going to save, by his grace, everyone who has faith in Christ. That's not your own doing. But it does not teach that saving faith is the gift of God. That is grammatically prohibited. And in fact, I want to say here something about the way our Reformed brethren treat the idea of faith. For many of them, they think that if I exercise faith in Christ, if I respond to God's grace by receiving it through faith, that this is somehow my meriting or winning salvation, that it's something I do. I have faith. And so I have somehow done some meritorious work, which is excluded, of course, by Paul, because salvation is by grace, not by meritorious works. But in so saying, I think they have completely misunderstood Paul. When you read Paul, he always opposes faith to works. For Paul, faith is the antithesis of works. He does not think that placing your faith in Christ is a work, much less a meritorious work. Paul always contrasts faith and works. So, in receiving Christ by faith, in acceding to God's grace, you are not doing anything meritorious to save yourself. You are simply yielding, as it were, to the grace of God and allowing it to do its work, its saving work and justifying work in your life.